Alright, welcome back to Broad's League Heroes, where we have Boris and Achikochi. I feel like I've seen Achikochi before at some point in the past, but there was a recommendation alongside this game that was sent in where we speed through the double depot to 15 minutes, apparently, is when the action begins. We'll take note of what has happened up until that point. We're gonna say AK. I think I've done this before. I'm getting flashbacks. The quick engineering bay. Of course, the pre-3-minute engineering bay, a critical component. $18 Zerglings will pop out the hatchery a little bit too close. We have a queen drop as well. I thought there wasn't supposed to be action for the first 15 minutes. I was lied to. The tactical quad queen drop alongside a potential Zergling run by. We'll see if Boris is prepared for this. He has no units in the main. Building up his depots in a nice, orderly fashion. But what does he have to defend against the queens? The Overlord just going to hang out. An Overseer will scout. Seems like a little bit of a amalgamation of tech here. More scans. Seen the lair. I believe this queen is actually trapped in between the evolution chamber, 2 hatcheries, and sadness.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
Thank you, Nelsons. But, it does not seem like this queen drop is going to come to fruition. The Overlord goes in and will spread creep. That was the wrong Overlord. AK is going to switch him out. He meant to drop the queens. A classic, a mistake anyone could have made. 1 queen will go forward. Oh, wait! He could creep in his base! He could creep in his base. No, he sees the tank siege. Eats 1 hit. Drops the queens back out. Not going for the Tumas. The queens try to come forward. 1 will be blasted to pieces, and the others realize they don't want to be a part of it. The turrets, of course, a turret ring must come up to defend against the elusive queen drop. The Zergling baneling count has increased greatly. The command center remains unupgraded on the low ground. Depots are dropped, of course, in an orderly fashion. As we continue to build in the designated depot corner, the DDC. On the other side, infestation pit, carapace on the way. The Lings and Banes waiting for their opportunity, but still have not committed. And AK, despite having 5,000 minerals and 1,000 gas, well, there you go, 15 more drones, has fallen behind in supply to a Terran with a planetary, 4,000 minerals and 2,000 gas. They have, and of course, there is a fusion core. More scans coming out as the first battlecruiser begins production. We've seen the Nidus network complete. He could... Wait, where did he put it? Where is... Okay. There's nothing in it. He has not decided to use it, but 1 battlecruiser is on the way, and there's more where that came from. 2 battlecruisers. AK with 56... I mean, you can see in the top right how much money they have. For those of you who might not be as experienced in StarCraft, more money does almost always mean more problems.
Because of winter streams.
Thank you, Winter Shill number 49, for the resub. Battlecruisers. The DDC has been expanded. DDC V2. As he's going to wall off his own base, which is already walled off by all of the other things. The DDC-2. As, of course, on the other side, we have double spire, +3, +2, adrenal glands, chitinous plating. 3 battlecruisers as, oh my god, a baneling mine. Anyway, also just bane. Well, if at first you don't, but this is madness. No, this is Bronze League Heroes as he gets caught in the squares. And the banelings do not have speed, but they don't need it when the Marines are that accommodating. And after all of that, Boris will be up by 20 supply. And, of course, by 5 battlecruisers. Money's still in the bank for either side. As round 2 is mustered. Scans. What is he? Let's go. He'll see the Nidus network. He'll see the danger. He is the danger. The double-thick depot wall will be lowered. We're on the Boris action cam. We're going to see where all 41 of these beautiful actions per minute are being allocated. This action cam brought to you by the Royal Navy. Our battlecruisers take it slow and do it right. Until they don't need to. He jumps to the main! Both players at 0 APM for a moment, in awe of the tactical jump. Boris not control. Boris has had a stroke. That jump took it all out of him. Oh, he's back. We got a Nidus in the back. We've gone from 0 to 100. The banelings into the main. The planetary will hold. The main is gone. He's building corruptors, but will it be enough? The Zerglings get to the base. He's backstabbed him past the depot wall. The main base is being gutted by the laser batteries. Everything's falling. The spires are next to be targeted. He runs through the planetary fortress. Do the Zerglings. They have 3-2. They still get one shot by the planetary. One more SCV will be taken out. There's nothing left in the Nidus. No upgrades on the battlecruisers, but no upgrades on the corruptors as well. So the spires will stand for now. Money in the bank. Another overseer attempts to come in. The turrets will take pot shots at it. Two cruisers will jump back. Just the perfect number for these corruptors to kill. As they just happen to be joining each other in an interesting place at an interesting time. There goes almost every tech building. He's still got the 2 spires. He still has enough larvae to potentially build the corruptors to kill these battlecruisers. He is spraying down a turret. The queen drop comes back in. I can only assume the queen drop came back in to gut the main. It's 82 to 68 supply. Neither player is spending any of their money. The fusion core will be sprayed. The bases are falling. The production is vulnerable. Only the planetary stands. The spires have been taken out. There is no tech left for AK. What is the play here? We have 16 corruptors on the map and only 6 battlecruisers. Neither player is making any units whatsoever. Boris has plenty of money. The planetary, once again, going to be engaged by incredibly upgraded lings, but are they upgraded enough? He's going to waste all of his sprays and then immediately move the corruptors, therefore canceling the sprays, but eventually finish off the planetary fortress. Not that the income was really required. The queen's still going to work in the main. The battlecruisers eventually burning their way through all of AK's base. And once again, Boris is on one base. The production tab. We've been on the production tab the entire time. It has been empty the entire time. AK can only build drones at this point. He has no tech buildings. And he's burrowing drones around the map. Whereas Boris has battlecruisers, and that's kind of taken up his time. None of the buildings are lifted. We're not in a corruptor base. Well, if he lifts the buildings, the corruptors can shoot them, but if he doesn't lift them, the corruptors can spray them. He sees the base on the side. There are no more buildings outside. He doesn't have... He has 1 spore crawler, 2 extractors, and the Nidus network counts as a building. As My frames drop harder than the supplies. But to recap those last few seconds, the scans came out. And there are only 4 more buildings on the map for AK. And one of them is this Nidus network. The only building left is this night. Okay, he builds a hatchery. And a creep tumor. We're not sure why he built the creep tumor, but he's built the creep anyways. He jumps. Wait, where did he jump? To the edge of the main, being very cautious. But there are queens for transfuse. He already used the Yamato cannons. But he's trying to lead the corruptors into the turrets, the micro, as the queens continue to work on all the SCVs. He's targeting down the queens first. But the battlecruiser's taking a lot of damage from the corruptors. Another queen goes down. The corruptor count is just not there, but now there are no units on the ground. Boris gonna try to hold. He could build 140 Marines. Almost. But now he has no command centers. He could build, maybe now that his base is gone, now that he can reflect, he can realize he could build Marines. And Marines kill corruptors. It might come together. We'll have to see. We're gonna go back to the Boris action cam, who has not rebuilt his base. The battlecruisers. He's got 6 actions per minute. Making sure he scours the map. He's desperately trying 2 lost cruisers side by side. No, he's trying to spray the turrets, but not all of them are spraying. He's losing the corruptors to the turrets. It's a disaster. Possibly turning the tides in this fight. The turrets will take out several. He's down to 9 corruptors. No, he jumped to the only base. There are no buildings left. Okay, he has the Nidus. No, the Nidus network is the last building. The drones retreat. He found the base. How did he even know? He just took a guess, a shot in the dark, and he finds the only hatch. And then he'll just kind of rebuild another hatchery because he can do that, but the corruptors are working through the engineering bay. Well, like 2 of them. There are 21 drones left. Several of them are still burrowed back here. The corruptors are hunting for the cruisers. When is their tactical jump-off cooldown? Boris still not... If he loses the cruisers... Now, here's the thing. If he loses the cruisers, he might remember he can make Marines, and then he can win the game. The drones burrow, decide they don't like their position, and then unburrow. But here are the corruptors. But Boris is target firing. He has the jump! Now he might look at his base and say, wait a second. The Zerglings could have killed everything. But now that the cruisers have finally fallen, and the Zerglings have not done anything, he will build 5 Marines. Boris realizes, for maybe the first time, he can build Marines. The Zerglings do not go to the main instead. They are 3-2 against 0-0 Marines. So, like, they could win that fight, but they will not take it. Now AK is going to have to rebuild from the ground up. He will burrow the Zerglings. And even a Hellion in production. I mean, he can splurge on a tank or something. Or a Cyclone. But no, we're building mass Hellions. Because you can only spend 1 resource at a time. He could build 10 more command centers. If he had the motivation right now. But he just can't find it within him. We're going to rebuild. In the only place that doesn't have resources, says Boris. AK, on the other hand, has restarted his spawning pool. Still has a lot of his economy burrowed. Another base will be taken right next to the burrowed Zerglings. Will he be able to spray down? He's going for the command center. But he could lose the corruptors in the process. The spray is there. Beautiful stutter step. Gets a corruptor. Saves the base. A single Hellion. What a choice. The Hellion harass at the 23-minute mark. The drones are left untouched. The flames not quite licking through. The Zerglings come up. Delay the command center. The corruptors can do nothing about the single Hellion. 6 more Zerglings on the way. How does this end? Boris is back up to 51 supply. AK seems to have slightly more capability, but less general units, whereas Boris has way more units and production, but has less, arguably, capability. So this leaves us at an interesting position, where right now, this is the income. The second base was not restarted. Boris will simply walk across with 40 unupgraded Marines against an opponent who has incredibly well upgraded 3-2 with adrenal glands and speed cracklings. The only upgrade Boris has got in this entire game is Yamato Cannon. And I appreciate that, but I don't know if that's the path to victory. So, 22 Zerglings against 45 Marines. I don't know if there are any upgrades that could help you in that scenario. But the Marines are going to make their way up. This is where the spawning pool is, by the way. A baneling nest built as well at the only base that was scouted. The Carapace he targets down. The Marines will simply just kill everything. There are still 7 Zerglings on the map. And where are they? If the baneling nest finishes, he can build banelings. And he can burrow them. And that's how this could end. The Corruptors are back into the main. But he's rebuilt Marines. The Corruptors will pull back. The baneling nest is done. The Zerglings will escape. He still has burrowed drones. It's 10 workers to 8. This is the mining. This is the mining. He never restarted the second base. We have an orbital command on the way. The banelings are not burrowed. Oh, but you don't need that many banelings. You don't need that many oh my god! As AK, death comes from below. And the Marines are shut down. It's 50 to 37 supply. Nobody's mining and nobody's attacking. But Boris has finally exhausted most of his bank. He's found his way down. He's made those payments. Okay. And when 40 Marines couldn't cut it, send in the Hellions. There has been no spawning. He unburrowed the drones. He's mining again. The thing is, he had 3,700 minerals the entire time. So it's kind of... Oh, Boris with the incredible mic. He could win with just these Hellions. Okay. All the banelings will burrow very subtly. Very subtle banelings. But the incredible Hellion micro. But the banelings unburrow. There's a queen! Where did she come from? She just unburrowed! Is this a campaign mission? Ah! No spawning pool, but the micro back and forth. He's spreading the burrowed banes. No spawn. He's got 4,000 minerals. But Boris with the incredible... Let's go back to the Boris action cam. Well, a slight misstep. And then realizes, oh, I have 51 Marines at home. He has not yet restarted this command center. The main base is completed, but the SCVs are not mining. He is now out of money. He is broke. 10 minerals. He's expended all of his bank on these Marines. All of it. But AK has nothing but these Banes. One scan could be victory. He has managed to, maybe for the first time in his career, spend all of that money. But once again, the Marines barrel forward. The Red Army sent into the meat grinder. Can he somehow avoid death from below? He comes through the squares. He's playing a dangerous game here. This is not how baneling bombs work. That's not how they work. Boris might know. Oh, Boris, please. Boris, please! No! It's a disaster! He thought he tripped the landmines, but he was in control the entire time. But there's only 2 banelings left. There's still no units on it. He's making 4 more Zerglings. The banelings unburrow, but he doesn't detonate them. You can detonate them from underground. He has an orbital. A baneling connects and... Whoa, that baneling did so much damage. The zerglings come out. And the zerglings are actually really good because they have 3-2. The banelings are on the chase. You gotta be careful, Boris. Oh my god. But there's still, after all of this, there are still 20 Marines. But for how long? He has money. He could just build more zerglings. He is. Here comes Boris for the final round. He has nothing left in the tank. He has nothing left. It's just these Marines. He could be mining. He's now long distance. You have a command center right there. He can make more Banes. He still has the orbital with full energy. The SCVs. Boris is about to be back to mining for the first time in 10 minutes. But the banelings are not morphed. He has the money. What he's gonna... He could shoot at the drones from the high ground. He's gonna go through the rocks. Not sure that's gonna solve your problems. I don't think the banelings are burrowed under there. But Boris is gonna go through the rocks. And the time he could have taken to get there before the banelings were morphed is now gone. The main command center is sprayed down. And Boris is no longer mine. Alright, this is... With a severe lack of understanding on how burrowed banelings work. Could be the end. An army split. There's still, like, if he splits well enough... No, looks like he decided again. Not sure what these Marines... Okay. This is your last shot, your last opportunity. It might already be too late. Rest in peace, comrade. Started with a whimper and ended with a bang.